Meet for the Trump administration in the Supreme Court today, which rejected the White House's reason for ending the DACA program.
The 8-year-old program prevents about 700,000 immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children from being deported and allows them to work. Crowds celebrated the ruling outside the court. Chief Justice Roberts joined the court's 4 more liberal members to form the majority. The president tweeted, quote, "Do you get the impression the Supreme Court doesn't like me?" Well, joining us now with more on today's decision from the Supreme Court is political science professor Bill Muck with North Central College. Thank you, Bill, for joining us this evening. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.
We know that this doesn't destroy Donald Trump's hopes of getting the DACA pulled out, I should say. What does it do? It pretty much tells him how to make it better so that the Supreme Court will approve it?
Well, it was a really interesting ruling by the court today, and John Roberts played a very important role. And what he said is, it's not that Trump doesn't have the power to do that. It's how he did it that was wrong. Basically, he's got to follow the rules. So this means it gets kicked back to the White House. And the question is, can the Trump administration move quickly enough to get this out before the election? The reality is, this is going to take a long time. It's likely to be central for the political debate coming up in the election. But I think it's really, really unlikely that they would get anything done before the election.
In the dissent, it made clear, at least Justice Clarence Thomas, saying that this should have been issued or dealt with at the legislative level, not necessarily in the courts. We asked Senator Durbin earlier why this has been so difficult for Congress to pass. What is your opinion on that politically?
It's a really great question, because when you talk to politicians, everybody really wants to find a way to solve this, right? Everybody, politically, it's terrible to be against the dreamer. So Democrats want to support this, Republicans want to support this, but usually it gets wrapped in with other legislation that either side can't agree to. So it's one of those issues. Even President Trump has said he wants to find a solution to the DACA issue. So even though everybody is behind it, they can't get legislation addressing it.
And as Joe said, we did talk to Senator Durbin earlier today. He did say that things will all change when Joe Biden becomes president. But the fact his wanting Joe Biden to be president is not a foregone conclusion. So what's next? How do they make it? Well, the Democrats, I should say, make it so that they get it their way and keep DACA.
Well, it's a really difficult process, right? And maybe once you get past the politics of an election cycle, both sides can sit down and find a way to move forward. What the court clearly said today is they don't want to decide this. That was clear from Roberts, that this is something that either should be left up to the president or the legislature together, that it's not the role of the courts to be legislating this. That being said, I think it was a really important sign that the court took a stand here. And I think really interesting that John Roberts sided with the liberals. That's the second time in 1 week that he's done that. So we've seen some conservative justices siding with the 4 liberals on the court.
So Micah mentioned the president's tweet. He also made it clear that he intends to make the composition of the court an issue in the upcoming election.
Yeah, that's not surprising, right? So even though this week there were 2 political defeats for the Trump administration at the Supreme Court, he still is loaded for the campaign, right? This loss means that he can go out and he can campaign on this. He can campaign on the employment discrimination case that he lost earlier. So in some ways, while it is a policy defeat for the Trump administration, politically, this is just going to give him more discussion and more points to hit on the campaign trail. So, a loss, but politically, I think he will try to way to fix this and continue to use it on the campaign trail.
Bill, before we let you go, what do you make of polls? They certainly took a beating in 2016, and now that we're getting closer to November, we're seeing more of them. How much stock do you think should people put in these polls?
It depends on the poll. And so everybody tends to look at those national polls. Where is Biden and Trump on the national polls? What really matters and what people should be looking at is the state-by-state polls. So there are a handful of states that we know are going to swing this election. So what are the good polls in Wisconsin and in Pennsylvania? What are they saying? And the reality is, in 2016, the polls took a lot of hit, but the good ones were pretty accurate, especially if you looked at state-by-state data coming in. So, you still should trust polls, but I would tell people to focus on the state level as opposed to the national level.
All right, Bill Muck, thank you so much. Political science professor at North Central College. Be safe, be well.
Thanks, Bill.
Good talking with you.